After the release of GTA 3, we got a ton of GTA likes. One of my favorite genres actually. With games like The Getaway and True Crime Streets of LA, it was awesome seeing these fresh experiences in the genre. But what if we got something more cinematic, realistic, and gritty? Something way different than GTA? Well, we got Mafia, an epic playable mob story. But did it work? And what kind of legacy does it leave behind? In this video, we will be answering those questions and more, and by the end, we'll see how good was Mafia actually. Hey everyone, I'm Corey and welcome to PlayStalgia, where we talk about retro PlayStation games. If that sounds cool to you, subscribe. So Mafia came out in 2002, originally for the PC, with a console port following shortly after, and developed by Illusion Softworks, which is now 2K Czech. It's a story-driven open-world action-adventure game set in a fictional city of Lost Heaven during the 1930s. So you play as this character named Tommy Angelo, and he starts out as a taxi driver, but he gets pulled in to this crazy crime family drama. The crime family is called the Salieri family, and the game starts out totally epic, with like cinematic flyover of the city. Totally brings you in and makes you feel like you're watching a mob movie, like Goodfellas or Godfather or something like that. Shout out to Goodfellas and shout out to Ray Liotta. Rest in peace, my man. You are a legend. I would say the story and cutscenes are like some of the most important part of the game. And the story unfolds through a series of like missions and cutscenes. Playing as Tommy, you see his rise, his struggles, and eventually fallout within the Mafia. I mean, you could tell that they took like heavy inspiration from like The Godfather and Goodfellas right off the bat. And in a good way, because they put their own spin on it. And it doesn't just feel like, oh, it's just like ripping off these movies or whatever. No, it's like inspired by, but in a really good way. So after the intro, you know, you're in the mood. You're like, okay, this is going to be like a movie-like experience. And the game looks great. I mean, I'm sure the PC version looks even better, but like the models look pretty good. It's definitely more realistic, not as cartoony as say GTA. Whole feel of the game and like the city that you're in, it feels very more grounded and like realistic. So some of the voice acting is a little stiff and like some of the lip syncing is slightly off, but all around like it works pretty well.
And even if I were, I wouldn't be doing business with the likes of you.
Especially for its time. I mean, we all know this game was like way ahead of its time. And there are some things, since this is a console port from a PC game, like sometimes we're going to have certain things like city depth and vehicle damage, and some of the graphics are scaled back a bit, but it doesn't hinder it that much. It doesn't ruin it. In the console version, I mean, we get like a racing mode, I guess. So the gameplay alternates between driving segments and on-foot segments with third-person shooting, there's melee combat, all of like the usual GTA-like stuff that you know. So the driving actually ranges from like literally you start off just cruising around and doing taxi missions, which is pretty funny. But the game can evolve in certain missions with high-speed chases, and there's even a race that is like a legendary mission in gaming that gives a lot of people PTSD. But when you are driving around in Lost Heaven, I mean, it feels real. Like it's definitely a vibe. Essentially a fictional American city, but there are definitely vibes of Chicago and San Francisco. We even have like authentic period music with radio stations and sound effects. It feels straight out of the 1930s. Like the atmosphere and the vibe of this game is legit. Like if you want to play a mob game, like a mob movie type game, this is the game to play. And what's cool is like all the gameplay segments are totally connected to highly cinematic cutscenes where you'll be doing the missions, driving around and doing some shooting and exploration, and then you'll be rewarded with these awesome cutscenes. And you'll be doing a lot of driving. It's actually like a core part of the game, driving around the city. And this has like realistic car handling, reflecting 1930s vehicles. Don't expect to be flying around like you are in GTA with like a cheetah or a banshee. You are going slower, and the heavier controls can drag you down a little bit, but there are faster cars and you can actually build up a car collection in your garage. And what's cool is there's a lot of like mob related missions in this game. So there'll be like assassinations and thefts and deliveries, and your favorite, an escort mission. Yes. It has it all. It even has a little bit of stealth in it, which is kind of cool. And I really like that it's like varied. Like you'll be doing a little bit of stealth, you'll have like a crazy gunfight shootout, and then you'll be driving around, and then you'll be doing like a race, and then so it is kind of varied. Definitely not as varied as like GTA, where there's like all kinds of crazy stuff to do, but it's still good. So the shooting actually, like, sometimes it's really good and sometimes it just is not. It just feels off for some reason. Like the cover mechanics are really weird, and like AI is horrible, and the like hand-to-hand combat is it's horrible, super clunky. I feel like sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Like sometimes the game will totally break your immersion with like how clunky and bad some of the stuff is, like the AI, and you'll have like giant green arrows telling you where to go, even though the game like is trying its hardest to be realistic, but then it's like super not realistic. But it's okay, it's just a little thing. And as you're doing these missions and driving around, there's going to be these bridges that basically act as like loading screens. There's a middle section, a middle part of the bridge, which you will be going over all the time, and it's going to be loading every single time for a long period of time. I swear a huge chunk of me gathering gameplay for this was just loading screens. But eventually, after a couple hours, you do get used to kind of the slowness of the game, the slowness of the cars and the loading screens. You get a little used to it to where it stings not as bad. I also like to give another shout out to the atmosphere, like the cars and the guns and the sound effects, the atmosphere, the cutscenes. I mean, it really does bring you in, and it's really enjoyable. And there's like a whole cast of characters which are great. Like shout out to Stuttering Ralphie is a standout character. Really dig him. I can't even remember the last time I saw a character in a video game that was like had a stutter, so that's cool. So there are some like cool locations in the game when you're exploring. There's not a ton of things to do like in a Grand Theft Auto game when you're exploring the open world. You're mainly just driving around, but there are some cool areas and like countryside and some interiors. So we have like an airport, like a museum, a church, hotel, restaurants, and of course Don Salieri's bar. And when you are exploring, there are weather changes. There's even a day and night cycle. Though when you are in a mission, the missions actually have fixed times and set weather conditions, which is totally fine. But the game is super dark when it's dark. I don't know, like there's no way to turn up the brightness. I was playing on a PS2 on my CRT, which is right here. CRT TV, baby. And we have a PS2 right here. And I'm capturing all the gameplay footage you see is directly captured from that, which I think is cool because you actually get to see what the game actually looks like, when most other YouTubers just use emulators and it looks completely different than what it actually looks like. But in some parts it was really dark, and check out the sunset. This is one of the funniest. I actually laughed when I saw sunset. I mean, just look for yourself. Does the sunset look good to you? Anyways, as you're doing these missions, you can collect cars and bring them back to your like mob base and collect more cars and better cars, and at least there's that part of the open world that you can kind of do. So in the game, there's actually 51 drivable cars and like 19 bonus cars with 5 racing models. Now, some of these are unlockable after the main story and opening up a new game mode, but it's cool. Like there is some variety here, and sometimes the driving just feels horrible, but sometimes it feels nice, like when you're in a race car. And there is the legendary The Race from this game, which drives people absolutely nuts. And now I'm a huge racing game fan. I don't know about you, but I thought the race mission was kind of fun. Now when playing it, sometimes I do have to restart it like once or twice if I have some bad luck or I mess up or something. But I thought overall, like the driving and the racing, it kind of felt like Gran Turismo, which I've played hundreds of hours of Gran Turismo, so I felt right at home with the driving and the racing. But if you like think of Gran Turismo and you're like, no, I hate that crap, then you might want to maybe think twice about playing this game. So another thing about exploring the open world is there are actually police. Yes, there are police, and you actually have to obey the law. That means no speeding, no going through red lights, no crashing into people, or you will get pulled over. And I think it was absolutely hilarious. Pulling over and the cops actually coming over and telling you to get out of your vehicle, and they will write you a ticket. I don't know, for some reason it's just hilarious to me, especially considering if you're used to GTA 3 or Vice City or something where the cops just want to murder you. In fact, I did try to cause some mayhem a little bit by shooting the cops and shooting cars, and it was pretty bad. Like, the AI is bad. It just was not satisfying or fun in any way. So if you're looking to cause a little bit of mob mayhem, I'd suggest other games. So yeah, no point in doing any mayhem stuff, but just cruising around, listening to the old school music. I mean, it is pretty relaxing and fun. I mean, it is fun until there is some major pop in and there's loading screens and there's graphical glitches going on. But like I said, it won't totally ruin the experience. And I mean, the main part of the game that'll keep you coming back for more is basically the story, the cutscenes, the characters, and seeing what is going to happen to Tommy Angelo. So you're able to kind of forgive some of the clunky gameplay. It definitely values narrative over mayhem. I mean, you really feel like you're part of a mob family. I mean, this game, especially for its time, was absolutely praised for its narrative depth and atmosphere, and totally standing out during like a sea of just open world GTA clones and craziness going on. I mean, this still to this day is like a cult classic with strong storytelling that's like even nowadays better than a lot of modern games. And even though it wasn't quite perfect, just taking the game for like what it is and when it came out, I mean, this is awesome. And it even got sequels like Mafia 2 and Mafia 3, and of course there's even a new Mafia that just came out, and I'm super excited to actually make a video on Mafia 2. And even though this was a console port of a PC game, I think they did a pretty good job. I think some of the technical aspects they could have done better, like maybe try to fix the loading a little bit and some of the graphical glitches, a little bit of the clunkiness maybe they could have fixed, but all in all, it's pretty good. And if you just absolutely love stuff like Goodfellas and The Godfather and stuff like that, definitely check this out. If you're looking more for like a GTA game with a ton of mayhem, I'd suggest looking elsewhere. Overall, I mean, this is a great game and a pretty good console port, and some of the problems that they had with this game, they actually fixed in Mafia 2, which I absolutely loved that game and I cannot wait to replay it. And the Mafia games are alive and well, and even the first one, people look back on it super fondly, and it has such a cult following, and the developers care so much about it, they actually remade it. Mafia 1 and 2 just completely remade from the ground up, and people still talk about the first Mafia till this day. It was so influential for its time and so unique, such a different path from GTA with being realistic, and this game was so ahead of its time. And I'm glad we got the game, and I'm glad they made a console port of it, and I hope we continue to get Mafia games for a long time. So if you already subscribed, click here to watch more retro PlayStation nostalgia, and I'll see you in the next video.